Hi everybody, welcome to the Subby podcast. This is a new addition to the podcast. So me and Andy's from ManGang, we're going to roll this podcast out every month. We want to keep a good bit of continuity, talking about various different aspects of mental health, the causes, the problems, what we're all going through, instead of talking about when there's days of the year and stuff like that. We really want to keep talking every month. So we're going to run together, keep on keeping on podcast once a month. We're predominantly going to run it from, Andy does a lot of site visits. So we're going to run it from maybe not actually talking about the people's names and stuff, but talking about things that, discussions that Andy's had on the site. So welcome, Andy. Good to have you here. The floor is yours, mate. Tell us a bit more about ManGang, doing and what you do.
Yeah, great. Thanks for inviting me, James. It really is a pleasure to give you a platform to talk about mental health. As you know, it's a passion of mine, and something I'm passionate about talking with anybody and everybody about. My reasons for it is probably not dissimilar to a lot of reasons why people get into this kind of field of work. Is I was affected with my own mental health. I made an attempt on my own life a number of years ago, and sadly lost a few friends over the last few years to suicide, which I blame one thing: stigma. 6 little letters that, when you combine them together, they cause devastation amongst family, friends, colleagues, everything. So it's my mission to try and smash this stigma that.
It's great. And so how have you been using ManGang then as a vehicle? What kind of things do you do to people chatting and get people together about it?
So one of the things that we do. So in my day job, so I'm ex-military. So I'm not afraid of standing up in front of people and telling people what to do and how to do it and all that kind of stuff. So what I've brought from my military experience is that kind of confidence to stand up in people. And you know what? I don't care what people think about me. I will bare my soul in front of anybody on site and tell people about my experiences in the hope that I can just maybe touch a bruise with somebody and make them just go, oh, do you know what? I can relate to that. Maybe I can relate to those signs and symptoms. Maybe I need to go and speak to somebody. So that's what the ManGang is. It's a non-judgmental space where men turn up. Only for men. They turn up face to face, and we sit and we talk, or stand and we talk, or we walk and we talk, or we get together and do a community project and we talk. And it seems to be working.
I saw on the website. Oh, it might have been on the website on LinkedIn. It was one of the two, but you said about you'd organised a walk somewhere down the coast somewhere. It looked like a cracking walk actually, where you were. Yeah.
So on International. Or World Suicide Prevention Day, which happens on September the 10th every year. It's a kind of a special day for us, and the theme this year was providing hope through action. So what we do is make it a little bit of a challenge. Our first ManGang meeting we held in a little cafe in Romsey. So we head towards there. Basically, we meet up in the hours of darkness, do a little bit of candlelight kind of symbolism, showing that if you all the lights come together, you can create one great light. And then we basically set off throughout the hours of darkness. We walk back through the night, no torches, no nothing, just people walking and talking. And then we arrive back in Romsey for first light. So it's the symbology of it so powerful, because we start in the darkness. Nobody's done it before. Not many people know each other, but as they're walking, their eyes are getting accustomed to the dark. They can start seeing things a little clearer. There's people helping each other out that they don't know. And by the time we reach the other end, the sun's coming up and everybody's just all together as this unit. They've just achieved something. They've kept moving forward and they've got back into the light, which is it's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's a powerful thing to do. So how many people did you have there on the walk then?
We had a 55-seater coach full, and a couple of cars of supporters as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we stopped halfway for cakes and coffee and full English when we got back.
Oh, now you're talking. That'll get me there definitely. So So these site visits that you've been doing, then you obviously is that organised? Obviously organised through the contractors, is it? I guess, and you go out and would you give talks or talk to people one-on-one basis? How does it all work?
Yeah, so basically, we'll go out there and, like I said, I'm a health and safety professional, so I see toolbox talks, and this isn't meant as any detriment. We get the guys coming on a triple STS course, the site safety supervisors course, and they have to do a toolbox talk. Then they get the book of toolbox talks, and generally the way that the toolbox talk is decided on, it'll be decided by a contracts manager somewhere or a project manager for the principal contractor. And then I say, do a toolbox talk on this, and you end up giving a talk on, I don't know, falls from height to a ground worker. And you're like, you're wasting everybody's time. Let's do something that's relevant. When it comes to the mental health stuff, generally there's just a sheet of paper that's downloaded off the internet or wherever, gets farmed out to all the subbies, go and deliver this to your blokes. And if you haven't got the right person delivering it, you lose the impact. So the way I do it is I'll go onto site. We'll work with the principal contractor usually to get them on board. We'll go onto site. We'll have there's obviously bacon and sausage rolls involved, tea and coffee. And what I insist on is that the site management team disappear. I'm not there to talk to them about toolbox talks. I'm there to talk to the blokes and find out what the problems are that they're facing. I roll my sleeves up, I get my tattoos out, I swear, I F and Jeff, and I sit there and I get what the guys are saying to me. I'm not the kind of health and safety bloke that comes in and tells you what to do and all that kind of stuff. I pride myself on being one of the lads.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, as you said, the stigma's obviously there, right? About the lads, the men not wanting to talk about it. It took me ages to finally kick the curve and let loose and talk to someone. But I think you're right. And the way it's presented, right, is that it comes across as it's like you got to go and sit in a room with a box of tissues and cry your eyes out. It's presented in a certain way to talk and in how you go and talk about your problems. And I think this like me and you are doing, just have a chat, talk things through. And go down that road. I don't know what you think about that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, by all means.
No, mate, that's what it's all about. It's all about human connection and stuff. And as men, we're trained from a young age, particularly in this industry. We're up at Sparrows Fart in the morning. We're out on site. We're out with the lads during the week if we're away from home. We're then going home and we've got to present. We think we've got to present this tough guy exterior, and yeah, we have to a certain extent. You'd be surprised just how many people. I mean, statistically, I hate using statistics. I think you can use them for and against. I really hate using them. But statistically, there's 1 in 4 of the adult population that is struggling with their mental health at any given time. 1 in 6 of us will be diagnosed with a mental health illness during our adult life. And that's a big number,
It's a big number. It really is. I think it's getting... It's as if it feels like it's getting worse, but actually it's coming from where we are talking about it more. So we are more aware of the problem, which maybe is a good thing, but we have to do more to solve the problems that people are facing. And I think, so we're getting to lockdown and maybe the potential of another lockdown, but something that I really, being a chippy myself, and even through the kind of years of trying to keep Subby going back out on the tools, doing a bit of site managing stuff, bit of project management stuff, point of just doing a bit of procurement work for a friend of mine. It is that self-employed, which I think is a big problem. It is the uncertainty, constant uncertainty. And I know that a lot of people will turn around and say, well, maybe you do better on that and you do better on that. You can pick and choose where you work. It doesn't work like that 90% of the time, realistically. And like you said, lockdown, there could be another lockdown. The anxiety and everything that comes from that stems from the self-employed setup, not knowing how, well, I've got to pay that bill and that money's going to stop. And I said on a recent webinar, you don't get like a healthcare package, like you do PAYE. You don't get holiday pay. I know. So we'll go PAYE. Well, it's not that straightforward. It's an industry. It doesn't work like that. And I wondered. I really wanted to say to you: is this something that crops up a lot when you talk to the guys of this? That job could end out of nowhere next week. I mean, I won't name names, but a big contractor up north has just gone bust overnight tonight. Last night. Where does that leave the subby? Because they will be on that site, on their sites. And is it something that it comes up a lot with you?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I've been out today. I've been teaching scaffold awareness to a single company down in Dorset there, and yeah, they're all over it. The site managers are like, well, we hope we don't get another lockdown, because then they've got the guys then that are subbing, the guys that maybe got a young family, their partner may be out at work, and that they've got to make the choice about who's going to stay home and do the childcare, the potential another furlough scheme. If we get another furlough scheme, I can't see that happening myself with the budget that came out yesterday. So yeah, I mean, this is, for a lot of people, the anxieties that go with it will be very real and very new. We're all used to having the pressure in the industry, we're having the pressure of getting to the job on time. We've got the CMLs to meet. We've got the targets that we're constantly getting pushed with by the site management. And there's never any room in the program. There's never any wiggle room in the program. You add this into it, this proper anxiety. And like you say, you're starting to worry about the money. Have we got a nest egg? We've just been through a year and a half of crap. Nest eggs are dwindling a little bit. I just heard on the radio on the way back that mortgage rates are about to go sky high. So, anxiety. We kind of confuse anxiety with pressure a lot of the time. When anxiety starts becoming problematic, when it's something that's keeping us awake at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, stopping us from going back to sleep, then we're turning up at work on site. We might turn up late. We might turn up a bit tired. We might make an honest mistake. The way the industry is, you know it yourself. Some of the site agents, some of the site management teams, they'll send you up the road.
Yeah, I do. Some that's a real great point that you just made there about the difference between pressure and anxiety and it being a problem. Because I know we have to say something. Okay, if you want to take on and have your own firm and you want to do this, then it's going to come with some pressure. But the problems within the supply chain, the problems the way everything's working at the moment, it's causing more than pressure. It's unattainable deadlines. You cannot meet them. You will not meet them. And it causes a lot more problems. And I think that is realizing that difference between pressure and it's a problem. So if I flash back to it was pressure getting Subby going, it became a problem when, because of the balance between being here and not being here, I couldn't commit to going back on site because I just let someone down. So I got a job with a driving company doing Amazon delivery driving and stuff like that because I could pick my own hours. But at that point, most nights, my wife would wake up and my arms would be completely wrapped around my head where I'd be having an anxiety attack in my sleep. Then abundantly a problem, right? This is not healthy. Sometimes like that. So I step back completely. So Subby's going to have to just rest a minute because I can't go on like this. But how many blogs are going through this now at the moment? Coming out of lockdown, maybe you've taken a few steps back financially. So you're trying to get back in front. So you've got that fear of trying to get back in front and it not happening again, right? There not being another lockdown. So like you say, where and how and what can you look at doing to address the problem and kind of make some changes? I don't know if you know, when you're talking to the lads, is that something you go through with them?
Yeah, I mean, what we try and encourage is, like you just said then, you've just admitted. I make it sound like it's something really bad then. I've got to stop doing that. But you've just been really open and honest about having an anxiety attack. And I don't see you any differently, mate. In fact, I'd probably see you as stronger for opening up and saying, yeah, I've woken up with anxiety attacks. But you've recognised it, you've done something about it.
Yeah.
one of the things that we do when we have the ManGang meetings, when we're in the group situation, is we start the conversations and we get a mood score. Just out of 10, there's no science behind it. How are you feeling out of 10?
Yeah.
So we make a quick record of it. Whoever's facilitating the group, they'll make a quick record of it. And then we'll start talking. And we ask a really simple question. How are you? How simple is that? But we don't want to know. We don't want to know how busy you are, because that's become a thing lately. How are you, mate? Oh yeah, really busy. When is that? Answering that question? How are you?
Honest with you, though, if you ask me how I am, I don't really know how to answer it. Really, a million and one different things would go through my head. You know, is he asking about work, or is he asking about this, or you know, what's it? What is it? It's such a generic question.
Oh, mate, you want to try that? You want to try this one? You want to see a stock answer being given? Ask somebody to tell you about themselves. Tell me something about you. And I guarantee, right now you're thinking, right, he knows my name's James. He knows I work for Subby. He knows I'm married. What else? What else do I need to tell him? And that's the three things that we'll tell people.
Yeah.
We may tell people that we've got some kids. We might tell people where we grew up, but that doesn't tell us who we are.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell somebody else who you are.
Do you find with doing the out of 10 grading? So when you do that, let's say, would you do that on like a weekly basis, or is it how? It depends how often.
Literally within minutes. I've done it today. Right when I was on this scaffold course, I was outside having a smoke break, and one of the guys came up to me, and I put my jacket on because I was down on some hillside in Devon, Dorset somewhere.
Yep.
So I put my jacket on because I'm not as roughy tufty as I used to be. And he saw the logo. He said, "Oh, what's ManGang all about?" So I said, "Oh, we're a men's support group." And he said, "Oh, right, okay." And that was that. That was a conversation. But something had sparked his interest. I see he wanted to say something. So the next time we had a break, I went and stood with him when we were smoking away and everything. I said, "You seem interested in the ManGang." I said, everything all right? You want to talk to me about something? And he kind of looked at me and he poured his heart out to me, mate. He poured his heart out to me right there and right then. And I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. This fella, he lost his daughter. He lost his step dad. He lost his biological dad. He lost his mum, all in the same kind of 3-year period. And what he did was he put all his energies into running a charity after the loss of his daughter. And that kind of focused his mind on everything. Over lockdown, they've had to shut the charity down because it wasn't working anymore, and now he's got time to think, and it's affecting him.
Yeah. God.
But I asked him after we'd had a brief conversation, 10 minutes we were talking for while we were smoking a cigarette on a hillside in Dorset outside this village hall, and he said, "So how are you feeling now, mate? After you've just poured that out to me?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Do you know what? I feel better now. I've offloaded."
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes that's all it takes. The problem with us as humans, the problems with us specifically as blokes, is that we want to fix everything. So it's up to you with. James, I've just been diagnosed with diabetes. What would you say?
Crikey, you caught me off guard here.
Let's go for something. For diabetes might be a bit maybe asthma. Then everybody knows about asthma, don't they? Oh, I've just been diagnosed with asthma. It's really good.
Then I'll probably say something along those lines. That's not good news, but I suppose what can you do to sort it out straight away? I think I'll try and give you something to look to try and sort it out with, I guess.
So what kind of thing might the doctor give me then?
I'll give you an inhaler.
Yeah. Is there any stigma attached to having a wheezy puffer machine for having asthma?
Yeah, and I see where you're going with it. Yeah.
See, with physical health, mate, we'll pour out the advice. We'll say, yeah, but you can get your inhaler for that. It's not going to stop you. You might even know a famous person that is asthmatic and gone on to win, I don't know, Olympic gold or whatever.
Yeah.
You might say kind of stuff like that. You say, mate, I'm depressed. And then watch what happens because of that stigma.
Yeah.
This different kind of attitude. That's what stops us from opening up.
So if I was brutally honest which I try to be most of the time, if you'd said because I put my hands up, I've done in total, I've done eight sessions, 8 1-hour sessions with a therapist. Now that pre that, if you said to me I'm depressed, I would have looked at you very blankly, very. I don't know what to say, but I think because I've been through the process, I would have an understanding to say something. And I think maybe that's a little bit of the problem is some people, I don't know what to say here. But that's the thing we need to come away from this, where you have to go and see a therapist and you have to go, well, just have a chat. Just let it all out. Like you just said about that scaffolder. Just let it all out. Get it all out and you'll feel that it won't solve it, but it's the biggest starting block, right?
So this is one of the things that goes on when we're struggling with like an anxiety or panic attack or something like that. We've got this internal dialogue going on where one side of our brain is arguing with the other side of our brain, and then the animal part of the brain is trying to take over, and we're going into fight or flight mode and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so real when it's going on inside your head.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful when it's happening in those 4 inches between your ears. The minute you put it out there, the minute you vocalize it or write it down or speak to somebody about it, the power that the negative voice has over you, because we're designed to think negatively. We have to be in order to solve problems, in order to progress and evolve to where we've come from. We've had to think what's the worst that can happen every single time. It's a natural survival instinct. So by vocalizing it and bringing it out there,
yeah,
you hear yourself saying it. You go, do you know what? It's not actually that bad.
Yeah,
you say it to somebody else, and that somebody else says, I hear what you're saying, mate. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
To me. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, and boom, out it all comes. And the person listening, guess what we need to do? Just zip it.
Yeah.
Just shut up and let it come.
Yeah, see, that's the one thing I definitely agree with you 100%. I said this, I did a mental health webinar for the Chartered Institute building, I think 3 weeks ago. And the one thing, someone asked me in the audience online, said, what's the one thing about going to see and talk to someone? And I said it was no judgment. That person did not know a thing about me. That person was not in a position for, like, I don't know, just as an example, what could you use? Let's say if I worked with my dad for quite a long time, didn't always see eye to eye. And if I brought that up, my wife might say to me, yeah, well, it's because you're just the same person. That's why. Where I went there, okay. She didn't know anything about me to judge me in any way, even if she could. So, that for me is, like you say, it's just don't say anything. Just let it roll. Just let the person roll. Keep going. So yeah, I think it's really, this is something why I want to do this every once a month, but do this podcast and get it out there. Just keep talking. Been fantastic. I think next one, I think, because you mentioned the military, one that I'd like to talk about is PTSD, because a good friend of mine was in the military and he has this big bugbear that people think you can only get PTSD if you've been in the military. Don't realise you can get it from being in a falling over in Sainsbury's, and hurting yourself. And I think we should get into that on the next one for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've underneath my jacket there, I've just come up, or every hair on my arms has just stood up because I have that same bugbear. If you talk to a lot of people, they think that all veterans are broken. Everybody's got PTSD. There's less veterans and serving military people with PTSD than there are women with PTSD in the UK. Now, there's something you didn't know.
I didn't know that, and that basically it sums up exactly why we've got to talk about it, because it's crazy. It really is. But listen, absolute pleasure having you, Andy, and this is going to be a good thing we got here. We'll keep getting in every month and talking about this, that, and the other. And what I'll do is, I'll put all the links for Andy. Andy's obviously on the Subby Hub as well, so you can find him on there. If you've got all, you can send me all your social media stuff. We can get it all, get everyone connected so they can get in touch with the Man Gang. But yeah, listen, mate. Until next time, take care, and we'll do it again next month. All right.
Keep on keeping on, my friend.
Yeah, mate. That's the spirit. Take care.